Hello everyone and welcome to Campus Channel. I'm here with emlyon Business School and Institut Lyfe, and we're going to be talking about the MSc in International Hospitality Management. In order to do so, I have the pleasure to welcome the two program directors, Eric Vogler, program director on the emlyon Business School side.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, Eric?
Fine.
You're fine?
Thank you.
What should we know about you that I haven't said already?
Okay. I'm the co-head of this program for 10 years now. I am involved in a lot of executive education programming at emlyon. I'm a teacher in strategic management mostly and entrepreneurship. I loved architecture, arts, read a lot of books.
All right, well that's good to know. You're here with the co-program director, Helen.
Hi there.
Spilan,
that's right.
True. So co-program director on the Institut Lyfe side. Mm-hmm. What should we know about you?
So I've worked at Institut Lyfe for 10 years now. I've been living in France for 30 years. I'm Irish, which you might hear from my accent. And I've been working as program director a little bit less time than Eric, because this is my fourth year. I am a teacher in management. Intercultural management would have been my specialization when I was doing more teaching than I am today. And when I'm not in the classroom, I'm a mom of two students. I think that gives me some perspective on higher education and learning. But my career spans 30 years of education, and I always have that perspective of the learner in mind when we're building programs. And I think that's one of the strengths that we have here in the program today that we're here to present. Obviously,
and we're here today with one of your students, the student ambassador, Diane Rodriguez.
Yes.
How are you, Diane?
I'm good, thank you.
What can you tell us about yourself?
I can explain that my career path isn't linear, because before starting my master's in international hospitality management, I actually did creative writing. So I'm actually a good example of you can have any background and still do this master.
All right, and I guess we'll discover what led you to study at emlyon Business School
Yes.
and Institut Lyfe. But before that, the pitch. A very special pitch today, because two program director means a pitch in two parts. I guess, Eric, I will let you start, and Helen, I will let you complete.
Sure.
Eric, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So it's a program in 2 years now. So this is the big news. We have a M1 and M2. It's with two schools. So it's based at Lyon in Écully for Institut Lyfe and in Lyon-Gerland for our school emlyon. emlyon is very known for the entrepreneurial project, and the makers are doing the world. So this is a 2 years program, 2 schools and 2 tracks.
So the second school is Institut Lyfe. Institut Lyfe is well known in France. We're the #1 hospitality school in France for the last 10 years, with a series of bachelor's programs and master's programs, both in culinary and in international hospitality. And our 2 tracks are very complementary with the 2 schools. So we have a business track. We're speaking really mainly about the first year here. So with the business track for students who come from a hospitality background, who want to go a little bit further in business, and for students like Diane, who come from outside of hospitality, a hospitality track, to get them into the industry and let them know where they're going from here.
Well, thanks to the two of you for this perfect pitch. It wasn't an easy task to do. How to get in? It's the admission questions we're gonna answer. I think my first 2 questions have been answered. It was like, who can apply and what link with hospitality do I need? So maybe I will start with you, Diane. How do you go from creative writing to hospitality management?
So basically, during my studies, I also worked as a coordinator for children with disabilities, and that's what made me really like hospitality and taking care of people. So my last year, I was wondering what I would like to do, and I realized that I really want to be in touch with people, and that's how that led me to hospitality and then to Institut Lyfe in emlyon.
Out of all the MSc in hospitality that exists, you had no experience yet within this MSc. What led you to pick that one or to apply to this one specifically?
The ranking. I won't lie, it was the ranking that made me want to go to a good school that I knew would push me to be the best version of myself within the hospitality industry.
When you say rankings, the first one, top ranking is what you're saying?
Yes, the top rankings, because they always tell you to try the top 5 schools, and I only applied to Institut Lyfe, to be completely honest. And I got in, so that's perfect.
Yeah, I'd rather you to be completely honest. It's a good thing to say. Can you tell me questions that I need to get to prepare, for the digital test? Because it's a very specific to the emlyon process. You go through digital tests. Mm-hmm. To me, it doesn't mean anything. So what exactly does it mean?
It's you have 2 sides. So you have the logical part, the dominoes to really understand like the logic of it all, and then you have situation. Basically, you have the role of a manager, and you have different situations, and you have to react the right way. There's no right answers. They're gonna see based on your personality and if you're a good match for the program.
Eric, how could you advise someone to get ready for those tests? What should they do? Because it seems like it's completely new, specific. Yeah. It's a very particular process. Mm-hmm. How do you get ready for those?
So you can have some preparation on the internet to be prepared for dominoes, for example. It's very classical. But the main part is for the oral questions and the written questions. This part, you need to be prepared because, number one, it's not so obvious to be natural on screen. Okay.
It's really not.
No,
I can tell you that.
So, yes, and you have, let's say, natural questions. Why are you applying for this program? Okay, so it's very basic, but we need to understand. We really need to check your motivation. We really need to check if it's possible to go from your background, current background, to a professional life in hospitality. So it's simple question, nice for the applicant, because if we are saying no, there are probably good reason to say no and maybe to start in another way.
All right, and Helena, which advice would you give your 2 children if they had to get ready for those?
Oh gosh. I think if I were speaking to students, there's the new thing in this program is there are 2 entries now. You have an entry in the first year or an entry in the second year. And there are a couple of things that I think are extremely key to those. As Eric said, there's a question of motivation, and it is true that given our shared experience, we have a good flair now for feeling what is it, the certain je ne sais quoi that clearly Diane has, that is going to make you a good fit for our industry. But also with the added complexity of an entry into the first year or an entry into the second year, I think the profile is extremely important here. The first thing I would say is the level of English. It needs to be at least a B2. I always say that you have different levels of English, like a conversational English and an academic English. You need to be comfortable in that, comfortable in your skin in English. The second thing is your background and what level of studies you have completed up until now, and so being clear on that. And entry into level of M2 will require a certain experience in hospitality so that you're ready. One of the things that I love about how we manage our program is we're going to accept people that we can accompany towards success. That to us is an ethical point and an academic point that's extremely important. If we can't bring you to success, that's the only reason we'll say no. Okay. And our job is to accompany you towards that, and that leads us to certain choices.
And several out of all the dates of application that you have, all of the students are going to ask the exact same question: when is it best for me to apply? Do I have higher chance if I go in September, in October, in December? Is there an answer to that?
If you are applying too late, it's not a good thing because, for example, our candidates in August or even in July, you put a question, but why a so important thing for you is managed poorly at the end of the process? Why? You are not very organized? not very motivated. Okay, so it put a question on this. So if you are early, you are serious, you know where to go and so on. This.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yes.
So maybe it's not just a cliche, maybe the sooner is the better, I guess, and for the other cliche, it's time for that section, the cliches. That would make sense, though. It feels like you've been chosen at the very beginning of the process. So I guess it's pleasant. Diane, what would be the first cliche that comes to your mind when I quote your schools, hospitality, Lyon, anything that comes to mind?
The first one is that you don't have a life.
You don't have a life at Life Institute?
No, but when you
come
to the hospitality industry with the crazy hours and you don't have the weekends and the holidays, you have to be prepared for that, because it's a cliche, but it's also the truth. You have to love that career because it's going to take a lot from you, especially the first years.
When you say it's going to take a lot of you, what do you mean exactly? Like you're going to be working a lot? You're
Yes.
going to be, you mean hours when it comes to school work or professional work, both?
Professional. I mean more professional, because some holidays you're going to have to work, so you won't be able to be with your families. The hours, sometimes you're going to do more than 40 or 45 because that's the industry. And then for school, you just have to be prepared to work, because you cannot be slacking and not doing, just waiting to pass by. It's not going to work,
So
especially here.
it's a life you choose, it's a passion you choose,
Yes.
and that chooses you as well, I guess.
Exactly.
Helen, what would be your cliche?
I think one of my cliches would be that business and service are mutually exclusive. And in fact, in this program, they're mutually inclusive. So excellent business people can have excellent careers in the service industry. And the hospitality industry is the service industry. Like Diane said, there are challenges to our industry, but you know what? I'm pretty sure there's challenges in yours, there's challenges in mine. But strategic thinking and business acumen have never been as important in the hospitality industry. We're really looking for leaders today, and the industry needs business leaders, needs hospitality leaders, and that's really what this master's, I think, brings. It's an answer to that question. So is it a cliche to say they're mutually exclusive? Yes. I think now really is the time where the industry needs us and needs students that we prepare. That would be my...
Yeah, that would be a cliche. So they can reach strategic roles. And it's
Absolutely.
not just, I don't know, just being in action. It's not just like services, like you said. It's not just action role. It's also like
Exactly.
thinking roles, what you're saying.
Absolutely right. I think that if you're going to a master's, making the decision to take a master's, it's a sort of a slow burn, if you like. So students are looking for a type of career that takes you to those strategic roles. It might not be immediate, like you graduate and boom, you're in a strategic role. It's a little bit of a slow burn, but being able to make that transition towards top management, I think is definitely the cliche I'd like to knock on the head today, because it's where we're positioned. This program is exactly at that sweet spot. And that's where we need people today.
Great, thank you very much. Eric, what would be your cliche?
It's badly paid.
Is it?
So it's true for the start for operational tasks.
Okay.
That's true. But usually our students are going very fast in their career, especially at the start. So you have more money very quickly. This is number one. And number two, you have other ways. If you love money, you can start your career in consulting, where you have you are nicely paid. You can start as an entrepreneur, where you are very poorly paid at the start, but you can have a nice
infinite
end.
money. You can unlock infinite money if you really become
if you are
successful.
lucky. So there are ways to avoid this problem, which is true in the industry.
So if you put the hours, you will get the money, you will have a great role as well, basically. So everything is possible when it comes to hospitality management, I guess. We get the idea now. And what is the program made of? Well, that's what we're going to answer with the program. Diane, where does the courses take place? Do they take place at emlyon or at a Life Institute?
It's half-half. So
Okay.
the courses take place in Lyon. And depends on the teaching, but if it comes from Institut Lyfe, we're going to be in Écully, taking the courses there. And then if the teachers come from emlyon, it's going to be in the campus at Chardon.
What added value do you perceive from having two schools as a student?
It's the two point of views. Emlyon is very, let's say, marketing or finance, while Institut Lyfe, you really have that hospitality point of view where, and then afterwards you can mix all of them and really be able to create something great. Because you don't only have hospitality, you don't only have business, you have both that will help you see different sides of one situation.
And isn't it sorry a bit confusing because you have to change between two schools, two different places, and I think there's even London in the mix. So I'm just wondering. I'm not saying it could be no. Maybe it's just my brain who's limited and would be confused, right? So I'm just asking, as a student experience, how have you experienced it?
Well, I'm someone who loves moving, so this is perfect for me. And when you're talking about London, it's the hospitality weeks. So we're lucky enough to be able to go to London for a week and experience different industries like hotels, restaurants. But if you're a little bit more crazy, you can go to nightclubs and understand how it works. And you also have Paris. And
it's part of the hospitality
exactly.
industry.
Because a lot of times we think of hospitality, we think of hotels and restaurants, but it's way more broad than that. But yeah, and you also have Las Vegas, where we have a semester there.
Why so many locations, Eric?
It's so number one, it's the strengths of two schools. You double your life. Because you have a double campus, so double association of students, live campus, and so on. And you have two different universe, in fact. emlyon universe is based on a big and impressive campus, international, and at Institut Lyfe, it's more specialized. You really feel the hospitality when you are in the campus, and it's more family-oriented. So you have two tastes, plus we are adding, we spoke about London, but we are adding Paris. We have the same hospitality week in Paris, discovering all the palaces. So there is a pace, it's dynamic.
And I guess if you want to work in hospitality, you need to like all of those changes. So I guess it's already like implementing that within your student life. Let's change the topic here. How does the courses take into consideration the growing use of AI, Ellen?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of movement at the moment in professional life, whether it's in hospitality or in any sector. There's a lot of movement right now, and change really is endemic, and AI is a part of that change. I would say that we need to be attentive to things like AI as students, so the use of AI and how to leverage it as an actual tool, not a crutch. That's going to be doing the job instead of you. But I think students often are going to be moved towards using it intelligently in the senses of how it can complement learning and not replace it. So I think that's important to say as a school. Secondly, in the workplace, I think a lot of things are changing. There are quite a number of jobs that are evolving because AI is coming not to replace, but to complement. I think we're going to be working in a very different way in the future. And there's a number of different elements that need to be taken into account. So AI itself, so artificial intelligence, but also other technologies like robotics, digitization, and so on. And so those elements are definitely changing the face of even customer management today, to give a very concrete example. Being able to pull up information about customer experiences, about customer preferences, definitely we're moving to something that's much smoother. The future of hospitality is definitely heading in that direction.
What's been your favorite course so far?
My favorite course?
Yeah, doesn't mean you didn't like the other ones, all right? Just to make sure, because I know Eric is teaching entrepreneurship and and management.
Let's say the second one.
Yeah, so top two if you want.
Okay, my favorite one is managing diversity, because I'm Cape Verdean, so coming to an école de commerce, it's kind of hard and you're scared. especially when you're a person of color. So being able to talk about it and really do examples and case studies really shows that the school actually cares about people of color. So I really liked it.
And what has surprised you the most?
How much I'm learning, sincerely. No, but in the fact that I'm from creative writing, so I don't know anything about what, like the marketing side, the finance side, the revenue management side. So every course is new to me, and I'm just stimulated to learn new things and try new things, because we're in the learning by doing point of view.
So are you working on different projects?
Every course we have group projects. So we're always supposed to talk to others and create new things. The creative side is very much on all of the courses.
Is there one you can just tell us about so that we can picture the kind of project you have?
Yeah, we just finished presenting. We were supposed to show how we're gonna integrate AI in the service design of one hotel, a hotel that really prides itself with human connection. So how we can use AI without losing that DNA.
Once they've graduated, what life lessons do you want your students to remember, or which one is the most important for you to teach them? And I think each one of you, 2 different schools, so we say it's 2 different life lessons. And it would be a good test. It's not a real test, but it would be a good test to see how complementary those 2 visions are. So who wants to start? Ellen, I guess.
I'm a big fan of talking about the learning journey, and actually what Diane just described. I think it's important to push oneself. It's important to succeed. It's also important to fail. Because somebody who tells you they've always succeeded, I think they're not exactly, I think they're bending the truth, shall we say. And the learning journey is something that I feel I am still on, even if, I graduated some years ago, but that idea of always having something new to learn, always having something new to discover, the excitement that I feel about meeting new people and learning new concepts, that to me is the thing I would like students, I hope we bring, and that I would like students to remember.
So learn how to fail, make the most from it.
Learn how to fail, learn how to succeed, be excited about learning.
Whether it's failing or succeeding.
I prefer success,
Obviously.
but both are, it's like I said earlier, we're never going to accept a student unless we can bring them to success. But a part of that is sometimes maybe not being the best. And I think that students will push themselves. They're sometimes surprised to discover they're no longer top of the class, for example, or no longer the leader in a project, whereas they have been in their past life or in their other studies. And there is that sort of dynamic and that movement that I think is super important, because it reflects exactly what professional life is. I mean, you've had to, come up to challenges, you've had to adapt, and that's the absolute essence of what we do on a daily basis. And bringing the students to that and keeping that spark, I think that's for me the most important thing.
Eric?
And for me, I'm always impressed about the international part. We are mixing students coming from all over the world with very different backgrounds, with international faculty. So the result is very impressive to me as a French guy.
I thought the life lesson would be read more books, because you always learn from them.
Oh yes.
That could also be a good life
Curious.
lesson.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so. Well, what do you do once you've graduated? It's after. Diane, do you know what you want to do afterwards?
Yes.
That's such a good yes. All right, tell us about it.
So short answer, since I do not have experience yet in the hotel industry, I would like to do a managing training. So basically rotational departments to be able to really have those skills. And then maybe in the future open my own hotel in Cabo Verde. But for now, learn the different skills to be able to be successful in the future.
And how is this MSc helping you find your way or achieving your professional goal?
So we have 2 networks, the emlyon and Institut Lyfe. emlyon will be more in the business side, consulting, and Institut Lyfe will be more in the hospitality industry. And then we also have the hospitality weeks, which help us a lot because we meet professionals and experts that can give us their contacts, and then we can contact them later on. We also have seminars where people introduce themselves, which has helped me. And then there's also the career center. We have coaches that train us on how to pitch ourselves, how to have a better CV, or even salary negotiations.
How to pitch as good as the two co-director at the
Yes.
beginning of the show. Oh, okay.
In 60 seconds.
In 60 seconds, obviously. Eric, what do your students do afterwards?
So they are working in properties. This is the main part. So doing guest relations, doing room management, F&B management, and so on. You can work at the headquarters of one big hotel company, like Accor, for example, in France, or Marriott, or you can work in consulting. As I said, it's a nice way to be well paid, and it's interesting missions. You can work as an entrepreneur. As Diane said, having a dream, starting a new company or running an hotel.
Especially with the early maker spirit.
Exactly.
From emlyon.
Plus, some of our students are lucky enough to have a parent managing a hotel in Courchevel. So it's nice to have a new project for this nice hotel. And finally, you can work in connected areas like luxury, retails, where our skills in hospitality are very well appreciated.
There's one thing also we haven't mentioned yet, but I've heard that at emlyon, there are a restaurant or bakery with Institut Lyfe students. And my question was, I've heard that the food is amazing there, and my question was like, how much weight will I gain if I ever join this MC? And maybe it's for you, Diane.
No, she hasn't gained a gram. You can talk to me.
Because it feels like it's another good effect of two schools. That there's the business school, they don't know how to cook, but at Institut Lyfe, I guess they do.
Our DNA at Institut Lyfe really is welcoming service, culinary expertise, and it is true, we do eat extremely well. The restaurant La Table, which is a part of the emlyon building, we eat particularly well, it has to be said. But on the Institut Lyfe campus, which a couple of times it's been mentioned that it's at Écully, I just wanted to say that Écully is a small satellite town of Lyon. It's about a 20 to 30 minute bus ride, depending on where you're staying in Lyon. So it's not that far. But on the Écully campus, we have a Michelin-starred restaurant. We're the only school in France, certainly, possibly the world, that has a Michelin-starred restaurant, which is partly a teaching restaurant. We have a canteen, a more regular canteen restaurant. We have pop-up restaurants all of the time. Yes, we eat well.
It's good food, but healthy.
It's good and healthy, so it's good weight.
Yes.
It doesn't really count. We still have a bit of time with extra time. Now it's time for a conclusion. So each one of you will have, I don't know, time to highlight something we haven't said, or highlight something we've said already, or even something completely different. It's up to you, Diane. I will start with you. What would be your conclusion?
My conclusion would be an advice. So basically, even if you think you don't have everything that they're asking for, apply, because you never know what's going to happen. And if you don't try, you will always have that what if in your mind. So just apply and try and have fun with it.
All right. Thank you very much for that advice. Eric, what would be your conclusion?
I love when my students have a wow effect at Las Vegas or in front of the Bulgari Hotel in London. Okay, and this is part of the pleasure of my professional life.
All right. Thank you very much. Helen?
I did just want to say, and this is the teacher in me coming out, to remind future students and candidates, you know, we need to focus as well on what is in the semester and what it is that we bring to the table. So there's 3 types of experience for a student in terms of learning. You have classic classes, so that happens in classrooms, etc., with specific subject matter. We mentioned entrepreneurship, we mentioned intercultural management, we mentioned marketing, etc. Second thing, Diane made reference to it a couple of times, and Eric also with London. We take the students on 1, 2, 3, 4 hospitality leadership learning, which happens in Paris, Lyon, London, and then overseas in Las Vegas at the moment. The idea that the student can be exposed to real life hospitality professionals, and we leverage that with a lot of communication. And then the third element is project-based learning. Each semester has a major project, and that major project leverages lots of different learnings, like project management will help you here. Marketing, digital marketing will help you for the project. And so this idea that at the same time as the students are discovering, it's leveraged in a major capstone project. I like that experiential learning. So for the students that are thinking about applying, those are the 3 things that they need to keep in mind.
All right, thanks.
Eye on the prize.
All right. Thanks to the 3 of you for answering all of my questions. Gain global hospitality expertise with the MSc in International Hospitality Management, combine business excellence, hands-on industry projects, and international experience to lead innovation in hotels, luxury, and service-driven careers. If that's what you want, it's at emlyon Business School and Institut Lyfe with this MSc in International Hospitality Management. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.